Hello, welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football podcast, brought to you by my working mic today and High Noon Hard Seltzer. And Kayce Smith, who is in Chicago sitting right beside me, is about to tell you all about High Noon.
I am about to tell you about High Noon, Brandon. You know what I was thinking about earlier, and Ev and I were having...
Yeah, I know what you were thinking about.
Okay, that's like inside baseball. You're not supposed to bring that to
Okay, all right.
Camera.
Sorry.
That we have
Sorry,
that
you're
you
right.
keep to yourself.
So, okay, sorry, I won't bring it up.
You absolutely will bring it up, and at some point I'll come over there and smack you.
I'm not going to bring it up.
Okay. Anyways, I walked in the shop.
Somebody would have to pay me a lot of money to bring it up.
Which one are we talking about?
Somebody would have to pay me a lot of money. They have to pay me at least $1 million.
Okay. Anyways, so earlier...
I'll say it for like $950K.
I didn't know which one we were talking about either.
Let's just go.
Okay. So I was texting with Ev on the way in, and I was like, I can't wait to get to these Uncrustables, which I know it's no free ads, but I know the Uncrustables thing is going on. And I was having an Uncrustable earlier, and I was like, I'm such a child that I want a High Noon iced tea with this Uncrustable. Like, that's all I want is like a nice grape jelly Uncrustable with the just plain High Noon iced tea. And I haven't had it yet because I have to do this in the college football show. But I'm staying here tonight, Brandon, and you know what I'm going to be doing?
A High Noon with an Uncrustable?
Sure fucking am, because I love High Noon, and I feel like an iced tea with a sandwich just sounds lovely. Does it not?
Sure, yeah. If that's what we call Uncrustable sandwiches now?
It's like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Okay, fair enough.
Right, isn't it? I mean, what else would you call it?
I just call it an Uncrustable.
Well,
yeah.
Yes.
It's that dominant. It's just it's got a one name.
Yeah, it's like Madonna.
Yeah,
yes,
one word.
Share.
Just an Uncrustable. You know,
seal.
when you say it, you know what you're talking about.
Yes. But this is a High Noon ad, so my point is that an Uncrustable probably tastes delicious with a nice High Noon. You know, you could probably get like a cranberry Uncrustable and have the cranberry High Noon. You could pair those things together. High Noon Sunsips, highnoonspirits.com. I feel like that's changed a time or two. The End Zone Pack. We're doing the college football show right after. We're going to be talking about lots of High Noon, and Uncrustable.
When this slate, when we look at schedules in July and August, getting ready for the season, you looked at this day as a pivotal day in the Big Ten. Maybe next week would be pivotal in the SEC when you have Georgia and Ole Miss and you have LSU, Alabama. But this day was going to be huge because you're going to have Ohio State and Penn State, and the exact same day you're going to have Michigan, Oregon, the top 4 teams in the conference going at it on a Saturday. Well, one of those teams didn't hold up their end of the bargain. Thus, one of those games looks poo-poo stinky paper. So, it looks poo-poo stinky paper.
I don't like that.
Okay, it looks doo-doo.
Liam didn't like that either.
Get back in the lab. This ain't it.
Why are you talking to me like you're what?
He looked at you like you had just said the worst sentence on...
It looks bad. The Michigan and Oregon game's not a big deal. However, the big game this week, Ohio State.
Huge.
Penn State, number 3 Penn State, number 4 Ohio State. We have gotten here with these two teams before. We have gotten to a spot where this is a huge game. One of the teams has never really answered the bell under James Franklin. We go into this week. I have encountered a lot of Ohio State fans, a lot of Penn State fans, and both think they're going to lose. And now I know the other day we talked to Big Ev. He's cautiously optimistic. 2 days after saying cautiously optimistic, have you turned into suck my dick, we're going to win?
No, I wouldn't say I've gotten there.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I've gotten there.
Could you get there by Saturday?
Right, that's when do you think you'll get there? I think he could.
When the ball is kicked off at noon, I'll be there. But that's a place I need to, like, it's kind of like a fighter to go in the cage. You need to get in like a certain mindset to get in there and do what you need to do. Like I'll get to that place. I know I'll get there. I'll flip the switch when I need to. But no, I'm not there right now. I can't say it on Wednesday I'm there.
Would you get there and not say it out loud though?
No, of course not.
Well, he might feel that way internally, but he might not be like at 11:55 a.m. being like suck my dick.
But he's never had suck my dick energy inside. He's going to say it.
You know, I wake up sometimes with suck my dick energy.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a part of my being.
Yeah.
It's who I am as a human being.
Yeah.
So
Well, you'll grow out of that.
I'll get there on Saturday, but on Wednesday I'm not there because I'm nervous a little bit. I'm admittedly nervous.
So this game is obviously huge for the Big Ten race. It's huge for Ohio State kind of staying in real good standing with the playoff. It's huge for Penn State making a statement, finally being able to get over the hump. It's huge for a lot of reasons. But I think it's biggest for the coaches.
1,000%.
You have Ryan Day at Ohio State, who is starting to the confidence Ohio State fans have in him has eroded and eroded and eroded because every time they get to these big games, something's happening to keep them coming up short. James Franklin, his confidence has been eroded. Penn State fans like him and they like what he does and they like what he provides. but they also believe there's a ceiling, and he has not been able to break through in this situation. So by the end of this game on Saturday, one coach is going to be trouble. Might be too harsh of a word, but one of the coaches will have his fan base's negative thoughts about them will have been realized. And one of the coaches will be a little bit, elevated.
Ev, you correct me if I'm wrong here. If Ohio State loses this game, Ryan Day's negative, like the fan base around Ryan Day will be much more negative than if James Franklin does, because James Franklin's team is still undefeated. If Ohio State loses this game, it sets them back a lot for the race to Indy. Now, it doesn't keep them completely out of it. Obviously, it doesn't eliminate them, but
it pretty much eliminates.
No, I think it does. I think that's
a lot would have to happen.
A lot would have to happen.
Kayce, what you said, I would say is 100% correct. I think actually this game means a lot more for Ryan Day because of that reason. Not only that, if they lose, I think they're pretty much just not going to be in the Big Ten title game. It's like the one big game that Ryan Day's always somehow been able to win. Like he always beats Penn State. He might lose to like Oregon, or might lose like a playoff game or whatever, Michigan, but he always beats Penn State. So that be in a season where you lose to Oregon, you come off a bye, you look really shitty against Nebraska, then you go to Penn State and you lose, especially if Aller doesn't play. If Aller doesn't play, if they lose that game, I want him like fired on the field, like after the game. Done with
Bo, what? How do you say his last name?
Perbula.
And he didn't look bad. Listen, he's not Drew Aller, but he looked decent.
I know if Ryan Day loses, Ohio State fans will turn on him. Even the ones that haven't already will start to turn on him. But if James Franklin loses, Penn State fans are going to – I know they haven't lost yet, but Penn State fans are going to be, same old shit. Same old shit. He just can't do it. This guy can't fucking do it.
He's 1-9 versus Ohio State, and they accidentally won the one.
That was 8 years ago.
Yeah, so it's been a long time, but this is the first time that they've both been in the top 5 since 1996. So this has even bigger implications. And I've made fun of James Franklin forever. What?
Nothing.
Was that going to be your trivia question? For the
it
show?
sure was.
Do it. I just won't say anything.
No, it sure was.
It's good.
That's a good one.
That's exactly what
See if Dan can get it.
No, I'm not going to now. I'll just change it.
Okay. The first time they've been ranked in the top 5 was since 1996. But Ryan Day is 2-6 versus the top 5. That's also not good. So I know that he always beats James Franklin. He always beats Penn State.
But did Saban kind of break that? Saban kind of broke the record against top 5s because it's really fucking hard to beat top 5 teams.
1,000%. And I'm not saying that it's like, that's another reason why. I do think Ohio State's going to win this game, even if Drew Aller plays. But it is like we always talk about James Franklin, and he is shit against Ohio State, and he's shit against Michigan. They don't have to play Michigan this year. But Ryan Day against top 5 teams, or even these big games that he needs to win, has not been good either.
There's a lot going on. Yeah, you're right. There's a lot going on here, Big Ev, in that Ohio State's glaring weakness right now happens to coincide with Penn State's biggest strength.
Yes.
The offensive line is struggling for Ohio State with injuries, and which is not being all that deep or good in the first place. And Penn State has, for the last 3 or 4 years, they will get after you. They will get after the quarterback. They've got good pass rushers. But at the same time, I look at Ohio State and I look at Penn State, right? I don't see a receiver or a real weapon on Penn State outside the tight end. Tight end is very good. Yep. But I don't see a receiver that's going to go down the field and scare the shit out of me. I don't think they got what Oregon had. I don't think they got a dynamic quarterback who can make decisions and plays like Oregon had. So while I would be scared about the offensive line, I do think Ohio State can answer more questions offensively than Penn State can. They've got good receivers. They got good running backs. They got a quarterback who can run. Blutman, your face has been expressionless the entire time.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Look at Army and Navy. Look at Oklahoma without an offense. Look at the U coming back. SMU's an ACC title contender. Undefeated Florida State has become the most defeated team in America. Saban's gone. Bama's falling. There's a 12-team playoff. A lot of change. It's the year of change. So why can't Penn State go out there and beat Courage the Cowardly Dogs, Ohio State team? I think Penn State's going to win this game. I really do.
Everything that when you called Ryan Day Courage the Cowardly Dog, everything that you imply by calling him that is also true of James Franklin.
Correct. But the year of change, baby.
Okay. All right.
So you don't think there's any way there's obviously a way, but he's not going 1-10 versus Ohio State. He's not hitting double-digit
he very well
losses.
could. I could look like an idiot next week.
No. But you're saying that's where the tide is changing. He's not hitting double-digit losses to Ohio State.
And like I'm not a James Franklin guy by any means, but
Actually,
I think Ryan Day has done such an impossibly bad job with this football team. I thought that they haven't just been underwhelming against Oregon. They were terrible against Nebraska. They were completely fine pre-Oregon. It wasn't Ohio State. Like Ev knows, you guys weren't world beaters. You have not been Ohio State all season long, and you know that. And most of your fan base knows it. The kind of smart ones know it. It's been a terrible coaching job. Is Will Howard going to go out there and lay it up against a ferocious Penn State defense that's probably going to tee off a very mediocre Ohio State offensive line? Probably not. Going to be a very tough game for Ohio State to win. I think the tides are changing.
Okay.
It actually is crazy to say out loud that if Ohio State wins this game, James Franklin would be 1-10 against Ohio State.
Well, we also have to consider this, okay? Because I know Will Howard's playing on Saturday. If Drew Aller doesn't play, if you throw a backup quarterback in and his first start is against Ohio State in a not a must-win game, but a gigantic top 5 matchup, because Ohio State's defense is also really fucking good. So that doesn't change your mind. Like, are you saying Penn State? You like Penn State, Aller or not?
I really do like them no matter what. I think Prbula, I think he's fine. I think he has good upside. He's just more of that traditional Penn State quarterback, the McSorleys of the world. I think he could go out there and do it. And I want to say this on the Franklin thing. If Penn State loses, I don't think Penn State fans can be so angry. Like, yes, they could do it happened again. We didn't do it again. They're still going to go 11-1.
The path to 11-1 is still very clear.
That's why I said Ohio State would be down much worse.
Yeah. So I think that they're fine. It's just like, well, we didn't get it, but hey, everything's on the table for us. We took care of what we needed to take care of early on.
Well, there's a little bit of how you lose too, right?
Correct.
Like if Ohio State wins 38-6.
Then it's then they're panicking, but we can't predict that. That'd be crazy.
I know James Franklin said it's a all the way up to game time decision for Drew Aller. Like, is there any indication from like what you've seen from the Buckeye stuff that you one way or the other, or is it just we have?
No, I think it's still just like too early in the week. I think he's still got like a few days. Trust me, I've been checking on it a lot. It just seems very kind of like same thing, like game time decision.
You think there's ever going to be a time in college where they're going to have to do like what the NFL does?
I feel like the SEC is like starting to head that way.
I feel like they should. I mean, not even just because like the gambling that's involved in it, and that's obviously a huge thing, but like the fact that we could not know if Drew Aller is playing in a top 5 matchup until they basically kick off is crazy.
The coach who will be my hero forever will be the coach that comes to a press conference and says, these are my injuries. This is who I won't be with. This is who I won't have. Just the coach that tells the fucking truth. Because if they were to hold Drew Aller, if they were to say Drew Aller's questionable all week and then he doesn't play, that doesn't help Penn State. Like there's no true advantage of being coy about injuries.
Not about injuries. But, like, if it's your team, like, if you're a Penn State fan, you don't want Ohio State to know for sure if Drew Aller's not playing.
Put the fucking cards on the table.
I can tell you right now, I don't want to know I don't want South Carolina to know who my starting quarterback is.
Let me tell you something. They know.
They know.
Yeah.
They should.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Going off that, like the only scenario where I think it can help a little bit is like A&M situation where their 2 quarterbacks are so drastically different players.
Yeah.
That the game plan is very different. But other than that, I don't think it really helps that. Like for us, I don't think we're game planning crazy differently.
Correct. I think y'all kind of game plan the same way regardless.
Like maybe with Perot, like you have to fear a little bit more of him running, but he also is like much less of a passer.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, I don't think you're game.
And with injuries, there's like, you already have that question. So it's not like, Ryan Day and Ohio State are sitting there and just not planning for either one, like the way that Brian Kelly did last week against A&M. Like, it's like, he's injured. I don't know. Something's going to eventually have to get to the point where there's like, Drew Aller's not fucking playing. Like, he is too injured to play a football game.
So you lean Ohio State?
I do. But I say this with like total understanding of myself. I just do not believe in James Franklin in this spot. I really don't. And Drew Aller playing is a massive deal. If Drew Aller's not playing, of course it's Ohio State. I'll be a little bit more nervous if Drew Aller is playing, but even if he's playing, he's not going to be 100%. Like that injury was not just like a little like nick in the knee type of thing. But I'm leaning Ohio State.
And Blutman, you're leaning Penn State.
Yeah, Prbula's going to play either way, too. I mean, they already have the design packages for him, so that helps Ohio State in an aspect of there's good tape on him, and if Day's truly locked in and like they'll figure it out, knows we'll have his answer, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Penn State either way. I think it's like a 27-20 ball game.
Big F.
My dick meter's starting to rise.
It just got here? It just got here?
The whole time
We're talking about it now like it's getting more real.
Yeah.
And I just had the vision. I was like, I had the internal conversation myself in the last 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, you big idiot. You're going to wake up on Saturday and you're going to be swinging that dick all over the place.
I saw you wanted to tell him to shut the fuck up a couple times.
There was a little. I was in the fuck you and me was starting to creep its way out.
Like, I'm looking at the monitor, right? The way that like Ev is sitting, like
Straightening
I was starting to be
listening.
like, I was like, this is fucking Penn State.
And
We don't lose this game.
Blutman is relaxed as you could possibly get. He's got his hood up. He's got his arms on and I was like watching Ev like side eye him, but not fully. Like I was like, oh, we're getting there.
You know how you know? You know how you know? Like there's two cats, and you know how one's about to the one's like,
yes,
this cat's about to attack. Big Ev was like that cat. Like, oh.
But he didn't want to look at him. He didn't want to give him
I just felt it come through me.
If he had a tail, it would have been sticking.
I'm gonna wake
up
up on Saturday. I'm gonna be like, Buckeyes by 1 billion. That's what's gonna happen.
I'm a Penn State believer and an Ohio State believer.
So who are you leaning?
I don't know.
You got to pick.
We need this one so bad. Like we need it more than Penn State does. We really
I completely agree.
We need it much more than Penn State.
I don't know that you do.
I think we do.
Yes, because if they lose,
but they can.
I understand.
They can still make the Big Ten title.
I understand in the
game we can't make the Big Ten.
I understand in the context of this season. I understand that, but in the grand scheme of things, if not now for James Franklin, fucking win. If not now against this Ohio State team with a banged up and bad offensive line, when are you going to do it? Because at some point you have to look at your 100,000 people in Beaver Stadium and say, I can't do it.
I can't beat.
And if not now, when? I think it's a gigantic game for Penn State.
You're going like downward. Like you're losing not only the big one, you're losing the big one that you always won.
Yeah,
like you're really like if they lose, he's going to lose the fan base entirely. He loses this game.
Job.
Well, because
he's going to lose the fan base
said
completely.
that if you guys don't make the Big Ten championship, that you're out.
If we didn't win it, I'm done with him.
So
if we don't make it, I'm like, get rid of this guy now.
So that easily starts on by
but if you were to lose
4 o'clock, 3 o'clock,
if you were to lose 20-19. If you were to lose,
he loses every game.
I understand. I got it. But if you were to lose 20-19, then you beat Indiana, you go 10-2, you're going to sneak in the playoff. You're going to be the 11 seed. You're going to be the 10 seed. Like I still think you would have a chance. Like I understand.
If that happens, if he doesn't win the Natty, he can't. That's the only way he could get me.
He has to get it back with the Natty.
That's the only even losing to like Georgia in a close game in the Natty doesn't cut it, sweethearts.
I think I like Ohio State. More weapons, and no quarterback uncertainty. Although Will Howard's got to fucking do it.
He just needs to not have these, like, Blutman used the word goofs, and it's honestly the right word, because he plays like a good game, and he has like 3 goofs a game.
Yeah.
And that was the Oregon game. He played a good football game, but he had 3 really bad plays, and it cost him the game.
How nervous are you?
Oh, I'm so nervous.
Do an ad, then we'll talk about Texas A&M.
Pork rinds.
All right.
You got any pork rinds in here? No, they're probably in your car.
No, Blutman took them all.
Blutman
took
all the pork rinds.
Some.
Blutman took them all.
No, again.
He stashes them around the office. Like a squirrel.
Hiding them, because you got to hide them from your.
Sometimes he has them in his cheeks.
Those are 2. I almost said something that was just not for this ad. Not for this ad. Not for this ad. Okay, so pork rinds. They're Southern recipe pork rinds. It's crunch time, and we're not just talking about the last few nail biting.
I was laughing at Big F because he was doing his cheeks like he had.
I can't even look at anybody.
SouthernPorkRinds.com. They have the hot honey.
No, it's
they have
porkrinds.com.
I'm sorry. Southern Recipe Pork Rinds at PorkRinds.com. They've got the hot honey. They got the spicy deal. They got terrific flavors. Sweet barbecue. It's all good. PorkRinds.com, the nation's premier hub for pork rind lovers everywhere, is celebrating its annual Crunch Time Hero of the Week campaign, a sponsorship program designed to highlight outstanding football players during the regular season. From now through the end of the season, a collegiate player who has a phenomenal play or significant tackle during the 13-week season will be eligible for the Crunch Time Hero of the Week award. The package includes a celebratory trophy, swag, and a generous supply of pork rinds. Crunch on Southern Recipe pork rinds and find your Crunch Time Hero at PorkRinds.com. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds can also be found at Kroger, H-E-B, Food Lion, and more.
There you go, pork rinds.
How nervous are you?
I'm very nervous. Yeah,
you should be.
I know we said this the other day.
Yeah.
But Williams-Brice is not an easy place to play.
At all.
It's not at all. A&M has lost there when they have been favored and been the better team. It has been a different team, obviously, because Mike Elko wasn't the head coach, which, by the way, I don't know if you saw this, and I saw it after we recorded, that he clarified that it was not about Jimbo Fisher, and he said, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Jimbo Fisher.
Okay, that's fair.
So
That's exactly what I said.
Exactly. So but he didn't clarify, or at least I didn't see if he clarified if it was about Brian Kelly or not. So just saying.
I'm going to say some things you're not going to like.
No, that's fair, but let me get this.
All right.
It would be ignorant of me to come into this day, into this podcast, in the college football show, and be like, A&M is going to beat the fuck out of South Carolina. That's not going to happen. And that would be ignorant. However, I do have a different feeling about this A&M team and the way they have been playing and the way Mike Elko's teams get better as the years go on. A South Carolina team, we're not talking about a South Carolina team that's just beaten world beaters all year.
Yeah.
They haven't really beaten anybody with a pulse, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm cautiously optimistic as well, just like Ev. But Ev, maybe you guys
So you're not doing suck my dick?
Not yet.
Okay.
Now, come about 4:30, 5 o'clock on Saturday,
Yeah.
I probably will be. I'll probably wake up on Saturday that way.
I believe A&M's going to win this game.
Okay.
Because I believe South Carolina isn't very good. I think their front seven is good. I like A&M's offensive line, but I like South Carolina's front seven, but I don't like anything else on their team. I don't think Lenore Sellers is a very good quarterback. I don't think they're like 11th in the SEC in rushing efficiency. Like they don't just ignore it. It'll fix itself. This is God damn it!
No.
I can't. I have to do this. You'll have to. They're gonna have to put it off to tomorrow. I can't do.
What now? What happens if it lands on you?
I don't know if it's wet wheel or if it's.
Definitely. Oh,
it could be
dinner with White Sox.
It could be dinner with White Sox Dave.
I knew as soon as
it could be clean shaven.
You want me to find
started
out?
zooming out. I knew. Wait, so they're just tapping into this right now.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna have to do it.
Do you want me to find out?
I have to record this.
I know, but this is so important too.
Tell them to spin it. I can't. I just
spin it,
spin
TJ.
it. All right.
They're just.
It rattled you.
Holy.
So they're tapping in live to this right now, watching.
The yak is, yeah. What, are they going to spin the damn thing or not?
I'm watching.
Just keep talking about A&M South Carolina. Spins, it spins.
Shut up!
By the way,
shut up!
I really want to know what this. I mean, is this something that we're dreading? People that are listening have no idea what we're talking about. So just now behind Brandon.
What is it?
Yak wheel popped up.
It's wet?
Wet.
Okay. It's 3-1 for Soli. Okay. All right. Wet would be the best wheel.
Yeah.
I can get that done pretty quick.
Wet's always pretty great.
Oh, no, you lost 4-1.
I lost 4-1?
Yeah.
Who?
The camera on the yak's on you right now, dude.
I lost?
Yeah.
Wait,
So I got to go get wet?
But wait, how did the mistake of he was down 3-1 or up 3-1?
It's currently 3-1 for Sol.
That means Fasoli's name came up. So is it wet? I got to go get wet?
But
Can I just do this?
can I do it? Can I just do it? Can I do it?
Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it now.
Is there anything that's gonna get removed?
No,
here?
just
dump that.
oh.
Move that. Move that.
Wait a second.
Here, maybe I should come around on the other side. Honored. This is just such an honor, everybody.
Do your best, your best Vanna White, but with just douse him.
Just fucking do it. Just fucking do it. Just.
You need more? No? Okay.
It's the proper amount of wet.
Okay. Bitch!
Well, sneak attack. I like that.
I had to do my part.
Okay.
Brandon lost 4-1. Okay.
It's unfortunate.
I just don't believe in the South Carolina team. I know it's a tough place to play. I don't believe in Beamer. Elko greater than Beamer. A&M offense better than South Carolina. I just don't believe in the South Carolina team. I watched Ole Miss. Let's talk about defenses because
Yeah, please do.
because I know South Carolina has good defense. The only other really good defense they've welcomed into Williams-Brice was Ole Miss. They beat them 27-3.
And on top of that, Brandon, the only true dual threat quarterback they've really played this year has been Jackson Dart. Go ahead.
Now, I do worry about the quarterback situation because I think
preparing for Marcel Reed.
No, because they're preparing for him, and I think Marcel Reed had a once-in-a-lifetime perfect scenario the other night.
Where no one knew he was going to play?
Not just that. No one knew he was going to play, but his first snap was first and goal at the 8. His second snap was first and 10 at the 18. Like, that defense put him in position to win, and they got momentum. He hit the one big pass down the field, which was a perfect pass, but it was the once-in-a-lifetime perfect situation. And I don't see, like, he's starting this game. If he fall behind 7-0, is he the same effective quarterback? I don't know.
I mean, obviously he was in a great scenario against LSU, and obviously LSU fucked up and had no plan for him. The thing with Connor Wigman, and I'm going to go back and forth, and I know Liam said this the other day, not knowing exactly who's starting at quarterback for A&M can be a disadvantage. The thing is that South Carolina's defense, especially the front seven, is very good. They have a very good pass rush. Connor Wigman does not have the legs that Marcel Reed does, so he would be more of a sitting duck if he is playing quarterback. Now, I guess we're going to see, and I'm not saying that Jackson Dart is some world beater either, but when you look at South Carolina's defense, when they have played teams with a pulse, they played LSU, they gave up 36 points. When they played Alabama, they gave up 27 points. Ole Miss, 27 points, like you mentioned, scored 3. The teams that they've had this unbelievable defense against, Kentucky, Akron, and Oklahoma, woof, all 3 of them. And then they did let Old Dominion score 19 points. So I'm not saying that South Carolina is a super shitty defense. However, when you look at the teams that they have beaten the way they have, they don't have a mobile quarterback. They don't have a quarterback that can also throw the ball, which is what we saw. Now, Marshall Reed only threw 2 passes, but Connor Wigman can throw. So that's all I'm saying about that, South Carolina fans, that you guys are really hyping up a defense that shut down Kentucky, Akron, and Oklahoma.
We have other games in this slate that looked better a couple months ago, like Florida, Georgia. I am. Are we doing our parlay at the end? Okay.
But do you guys think A&M or South Carolina is going to win?
I think A&M's going to win. Sorry, Big F. I just got wet. I have no idea.
Yeah, no.
Every plan I had is out the window.
It's tough because like the gambler in me just sees the line, and A&M's number 10 in the country. They're on the road. They were 3.5-point favorites and immediately got bet down to 2, which gives me inclination that the smart people were jumping all over South Carolina catching 3.5. They've won 6 in a row at night at home in the SEC. So they play well here in these spots. I agree with you. It's weird because like I think A&M is rolling, and I would think they start Marcel Reed, but it also was kind of telling when Wegman's hurt. He plays a few games, like he plays the whole Arkansas game, and then they just go back to Wegman.
But that was before the LSU game where he just went off, where Marcel Reed came in and like had the perfect. You don't think that they?
No. I'm saying I think they go back to Reed, but I'm saying it was telling like earlier in the season, where they had went to Reed, like Wegman was banged up a little bit, and then everyone was like, oh, like they beat Arkansas, how could they go back? And they went right back, and it looked to be like a good decision. Basically until this game when they kind of had to hit the panic button because the offense just couldn't do anything.
They had to change,
and they had to do something, and it clearly was the right decision, obviously. But
game
Brandon also was right where like the ball just bounced perfectly for Marcel Reed to have a good game.
And Brian Kelly and that defensive staff did.
Yeah, and they also are not great. It's one of those where like
and Shane
Beamer, I can't get like the gambler.
Just do it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna take South Carolina just because the gambler. But I see the line. I'm like, I can't not take this line.
Yeah, who gives a shit about her?
I like have to take South Carolina.
Gonna win.
Yeah, I figured.
But also again, I'm Mr. Texas A&M. I'm the biggest Texas A&M guy in the show.
Yeah,
I'm the
that's
only
true.
one
You're the only one that believed in him.
I'm the only one that believed in him day one.
Yeah,
before a snap of football was taken.
Day one Aggie right there.
I was A&M playoff.
Where's your ring?
Yeah, where is your ring?
Oh,
you know what though?
We should get him a ring.
I wear it around my neck.
You got to do 90 hours.
You know what? If you get me a ring, and I'll bet A&M in this game.
Get him a ring.
I want
not that one.
No. I want my own.
One right here.
I want an Aggie ring. I want a real one.
This one is an Aggie ring.
No, but I'm saying I want my own.
His.
Well, you got to do 90 hours.
He's got time.
90 hours.
90 hours of. You don't just get one for going. You have to do 90 hours of college credit at A&M.
Blutman, A&M or South Carolina?
It's way too.
If A&M was favored by 5 or 6, I'd be on them in this game. The line being down at 2.5 is exactly what I've thought of all week. I like South Carolina in this spot. Night game, tough place to play. I thought I was going to be the only one on the show to bring up Marcel Reed and the worry I have for him, but it seems that both of you have that as well. It was a once-in-a-lifetime, just spur of the moment. Everything went right. Everything was clicking. It's going to get tough when he's going up against Kennard and Stort, and that stuff gets scary. I know he's a gifted runner. He really is. The throwing ain't gifted.
Yeah.
He's got work to do in the throwing department, and that's going to be tough. It's a comeback down to earth game for him. I think he might be in for a rude awakening.
We don't have I mean, there's other games here. We're going to get to the categories, which will open up discussion for a lot of games. But, Pitt, SMU, undefeated Pitt, SMU about a touchdown favorite, I think. This is going to determine who's sticking around for the long haul in the ACC, yes?
Can I say something about this game? And maybe I'm just incredibly wrong. I don't give a shit about this game. Like, I do as a whole. No, I do as, obviously, but this, when I'm looking at the slate.
Yeah, because
your top 20 teams, I don't care.
That's fine, because you've gotten to a point this year where you started off the season and you're like, if we win 9 games, I'm great. That's great. If we win 8 games, I'm okay. Now, you see it. Like now you see you're undefeated in the SEC.
I'm
you're
talking about Pitt, SMU.
I understand. Hold on. I understand. But as an A&M fan, you've gotten to this point. Oh my God, now we're playoff good. All you care about now is South Carolina.
I care about Ohio State.
All you care about South
but
Carolina.
Look at the times of the games. This game's on directly when your game's on.
Oh, I for sure don't give a fuck. No, listen.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
There is not. Okay, that is a fair point.
If A&M were 6 and if A&M were 5-3 right now, you'd be like, well, we can talk about Pitt SMU.
No, we should still talk about it. But you're right. I'm definitely not going to have a multicast on for those 2 games. But let's some truth serum here, and I understand Pitt and SMU's been sneaky, and I understand Pitt's undefeated. How much do you really care about this game?
I care because I think the doomsday scenario in the ACC is SMU and Miami and Clemson getting to ACC needs a Clemson-Miami ACC championship game. They need it. They need it like they need air. And if SMU is just sitting there undefeated, and I don't know how the tiebreakers will work out. I really don't know. But if SMU is sitting there also undefeated, it cheapens that game. It might even take away from that game. I don't know what it would do to that game. But this is big for that. This is big for going down the stretch. I requested a towel. So
that's very big of you.
Yeah.
To bring him a towel.
This does break my rule. Which you guys don't work out here. You don't know my rule. My rule is only one Blutman in a room at a time. Yep. So I don't
you get scared or something?
Yeah, I don't like multiple Blutmans in a room. You don't need
to break the glass for this one.
The ratio can't include 2 Blutmans. It's just bad.
What happens when Markey's in town?
Markey is not a Blutman to me. Markey is above
patriarch
Blutman.
He's
the Blutman.
Yeah, he is the Blutman. No, all other Blutmans disappear when Markey's around.
He's
what if
the
Cousin Alex
minion
was here?
Blutmans, like the little one.
He's King Blutman.
What if Cousin Alex was here?
I don't know who Cousin Alex is.
Do you call all of your cousins
Alex
cousin? Yeah, I love
Uncle Kenny.
when
You do that?
No, but I think when families do that, it's very funny. Like cousin Sarah, cousin Alex, cousin John,
Yeah,
cousin.
no, I knew what names were.
No, I know. I'm just.
Do you do that?
I feel like when I was a kid, we did a little bit.
Oh, we don't do it. We've never done
we
that.
never.
Like we had like cousin Johnny, like cousin Tommy.
I was the
Like we had big Robbie, little Robbie.
I
Was like father, son.
Yeah.
Yes.
My uncle, and my cousin.
I was the first kid on either side of my family. All my cousins are on my mom's side significantly younger, like 15 years younger, and on my dad's side younger as well. So I never really participated in I was always just the oldest one. I never said, "Ooh, that's cousin Chucky," because there's a 7-year-old kid.
Yeah, and you were too old for that.
Yeah.
But I just think it's funny when they say cousin. I don't know. And
Yeah.
Blutman saying it's even funnier.
I bet Blutman has like 90 cousins too. You seem like I'm from a family that's got hundreds of cousins running around.
More cousins on my mom's side, but not too many. No.
Not too many.
Cousin Jacob, cousin Kate.
You don't have to name them all.
Okay.
Shout out Jacob and Kate if you're watching.
Cousin Jacob and cousin. Okay. Let's do some more business.
It is odd that it's not a Southern thing. It sounds like more of a Southern thing.
Yeah.
But you don't do it. Roback. So you're wearing Roback. It's drenched
It's
right
soaked,
now.
yeah.
It's drenched. Right after we get done with this, we're doing the college football show. I'll be changing into my Roback because it's football season, which Brandon, we always wear Roback in football season. And they do have the top-notch quality, whether it's cold, whether it's hot. It keeps you the right temperature. It's not too thick. And they also have the new joggers, which I think they came out with like a new version this year, but I had them last year. The joggers are the best.
They did come out with a new version. I have them.
The Sprint joggers.
My God. The ones last year were good. The ones this year are elitist of the elite. Now, ones last year were great too. I still wear them a lot. I wore the new joggers for the first time last week, and it was perfection.
They are lightweight.
Buy them. Go get them. Highest recommendation.
They stretch easily. That's important, those joggers. They come in the ultra soft fabric. Multiple softs. They also have Roback has the new collegiate license game day collection. So they have customized polos, hoodies, quarter zips for your favorite schools. When we go on the road for college football, you usually see the guys get wherever we are, great custom. I've said this multiple times, like the State Fair of Texas custom polo that Dave was wearing when we were there for the Red River Shootout was awesome. So go to roback.com and use code RUFF. You get a generous 20% off your first purchase. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, shorts, joggers, and more with code RUFF.
It's one of those weekends where you don't have a lot of marquee matchups. What you have are a lot of interesting interconference matchups that, for whatever reason, one team didn't live up to their billing. Like Wisconsin, Iowa is a good, solid game, but neither team is where they wanted to be. Kentucky, Tennessee. We thought Kentucky early in the season was a little bit better. Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida. Florida isn't where they want to be. But these are still, whenever Florida plays Georgia, Georgia better be on their P's and Q's. Whenever Tennessee plays Kentucky, they better be on their P's and Q's. There's a lot of games like that. Then you have ranked teams like Indiana. Anytime this late in the season they're undefeated and they go on the road against a Michigan State team who's looked up and down. That can get tricky. So there's a lot of games like that. So we'll do our categories now, and we'll start with the Liam Blutman Memorial. Cover your eyes.
Go ahead.
And I'm just fucking daring one of y'all to do it. And I fucking dare you to do it.
Oh, I thought about it, but there's one that's so obvious to me that I couldn't do it.
The Liam Blutman Memorial Cover Your Eyes game of the week. I'll start with Kayce. And Big Ev, you don't have the advantage of being in the top left right now. So she's got the top left position.
It's Northwestern Purdue.
Northwestern Purdue.
On what planet would anybody want to tune into that game?
And
there's some other options. North Carolina, Florida State's not great. Mississippi State, UMass, not great. But Northwestern and Purdue is, as Liam Blutman would say, P.U. stinky.
This is what I was going for earlier, and y'all didn't like it.
Well, you put some weird twang on there that we weren't messing with.
You weren't messing with it.
No, you said something with paper, too.
Why don't you shut up?
Yeah,
He spoke on behalf of the couch.
Yeah, he spoke for all of us.
We good, fam.
I really wish I had my water.
I don't like y'all I don't like you two. No.
We're teaming up.
I don't want you to team up. I need y'all to not team up.
on the low.
But
not really.
It's Northwestern Purdue. And I honestly, I'm always interested to hear everybody else's thoughts, but I do not believe there is a game that is worse on this slate.
Big F?
Yeah, I also, as a Big Ten guy, hated to do it. I went in the listen. You said all right. Iowa, Wisconsin.
Yeah,
This is just a gross football game. If you like punts, this is the game for you. 13-10 is on the table, big time.
it is, and it will be one of those classic. It feels like one of those games where there will be a Big Cat tweet after the 9th punt of the first quarter, being like a Big Ten football. Like it feels like that.
First touchdown wins.
Yeah. And if you had if NFL, you had a first touchdown bet, you're still sweating it out early fourth quarter.
Oh yeah, big time.
Well, I think I was doing that with the Giants game the other night.
Oh yeah, we were. Oh,
yeah.
It somehow ended up flying over.
I had Fryermuth, and I was in the middle of third quarter. I'm like, all right, any day now.
The first score was a punt.
Blutman.
Yep. I've got
The Liam Blutman Memorial Cover Your Eyes game of the week.
87.4% of the FBS slate. Maine at Oklahoma. And then the FCS has one. And this is cover your eyes because there'll be blood, there'll be gore when Central Arkansas goes and plays at Utah Tech. 0-9 Utah Tech, who does nothing but get beat the heck up. And I've got two players I'll reference in the players to watch segment on Central Arkansas. They're going to run all over Utah Tech. This is blowout city. This could be a 50-plus point win for Central Arkansas. UCA Bears, look out. Massacre.
All right, I got to talk to a certain group because my Cover Your Eyes game of the week, there's games out there. Purdue Northwestern, I'd written down that for a second. Yours is also good. Everybody's is good. There's your Mississippi State Mains of the world and everything. But I got to look at Oklahoma right now because y'all got to get fucking serious. You're in the SEC right now. The fact that you get to the last week of October and you're scheduling Maine, a weak team from the Northeast, on, again, the last weekend of October, and that's what you're doing, you're in a serious fucking league right now, okay? You need to get fucking serious, Oklahoma. No serious program, no program worth its salt is going to go out there and schedule Maine for fucking the last weekend of October. It's embarrassing, and you need to grow the fuck up. It's Maine and Oklahoma because this is a 34-point spread, which I don't know that Oklahoma could cover a 34-point spread against Lucas, but it's a 34-point spread, and the over-under is 46. This thing is going to be disgusting. And get your big boy scheduling pants, Oklahoma. Get serious about your football program.
It's a fair gripe that you have.
It is.
I mean, it doesn't happen in the SEC.
It doesn't happen.
Doesn't
This
happen.
is the fucking SEC.
Right, doesn't happen ever.
Thoughts, Big F?
I didn't see who's Mississippi State have on the dock this week?
What'd you say?
Who is Mississippi State?
I don't have my headphones on.
Remember, he said he doesn't care anymore.
I don't have my headphones on. I
was looking through. I missed it. I was doing my prep for the show. I just didn't see.
I don't.
I didn't have. I didn't have much time. I was going through the games.
Yeah.
I was like,
no.
I don't worry about this one. Brandon will tell me.
Yeah. No. Well, I'll get you out of here. I know you got to get on a plane, so I'm just gonna move on now. What team is on upset alert? Who is on? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'm excited about this one.
Okay. Kayce Smith, who's on upset alert?
Vandy's going to beat Auburn. I can't believe. Why are you looking at me like that?
I just don't like when you do this.
Why? Do you have Auburn or something?
No.
What do you not like what I do?
Because, I don't know. I don't understand what you're saying. They're 6.5-point dogs. Go.
Nope.
I'll let you do it.
No, I don't like it.
I'll let you do it.
Nope, I don't want to do
You
it.
do it.
Nope. That's my game.
I actually think it's okay.
Vandy's been in the top 25.
Auburn is
I think
awful.
the spread's wide enough. I think it's. I think
Continue.
I understand what
I've been overruled by Big F.
I think it's fair.
But it is
The touchdown favorites makes it. If it was like 2, I'd be like, don't do that. But
6.5.
6.5 is like, all right. Like Vegas is clearly giving Vandy no respect still.
And what has Auburn done to be a 6.5-point favorite over Vandy, who has had the what?
They're sneaky, kind of putting it together. They fucking gave away the Oklahoma game. They gave away a couple games.
bad.
They went on the road and
They should have beat Oklahoma.
they thumped Kentucky.
Yep, thump Kentucky.
Well, Kentucky's also so.
I know.
bad.
You know what? This is your cat. This is your.
I've already said it. Ev, that's my upset alert. I think Vanderbilt's going to win the game. But 6.5 points against an Auburn team again, who, I mean, your examples just now were Oklahoma and Kentucky, who both are ass.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not really concerned about Auburn right now. I love Diego Pavia too.
Go.
Ev is OG Diego Pavia guy.
Brandon,
Who's on upset alert? You got it.
the Ole Miss Rebels are an upset alert.
Come on, Big F.
Big
one time.
Come
on one time.
Big time. Not only do they have the look ahead spot with Georgia next week. I loved him before, even talking to Mitzi. They don't beat Arkansas ever.
Yeah.
Especially in Arkansas. They never win.
Yeah.
In Arkansas, we've said a lot this year. They've let some games slip through their fingers. This is not a bad football
They're
team.
live.
This is a very rock-solid football team with some talent on offense, a solid defense. We can argue, are they well coached or they're not? I'd probably say not, but it's okay. I don't think they need to be crazy well coached to win this game. A lot of thoughts about a coach on the other side, and Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin being maybe 1 foot out the door already. A lot of speculation on that. I just think this is I've got to go to Fayetteville with Georgia on the docket at home. Big game the next week. In a matchup that hasn't went your way a lot, in a place you haven't liked to go play. Arkansas +7, outright little sprinkle. I think they're very, very live here.
Blutman, who's on upset alert? Ole Miss?
Yeah, so I'll
You
pivot.
understand we're on podcast, so when you point at him, it doesn't do as much.
Silent podcast works. Ask Nick and KB. It did work.
All right.
We are not Nick and KB.
Yeah.
No, we're
And
not.
I get reminded of that in my DMs every day.
I was gonna say A&M South Carolina, but I feel like everyone already knows that that's kind of like, this one could get funky.
Yeah.
Ev commented on Arkansas Ole Miss, so I'll refrain from that. Flying on the fly here, Iowa State at home against Texas Tech, about a 2-touchdown favorite. Baron Morton's going to be playing football. Look good in practice this week for Texas Tech. Be very careful, Iowa State. Iowa State's at the point of the season where they're 7-0, undefeated in conference 4-0, and they're like kind of driving down the road, and they're like, oh, we're almost there. Are we there? Are we there? We're almost there. They're almost to the, what do you say?
Finish line?
The finish line, the rainbow, the pot of gold. They're almost there. Texas Tech's got the offense to be like, whoa, we'll throw you off track a little bit. We'll put a flat tire in there. Look out. I'm not saying Texas Tech's going to win. I'm just going to say it's a close game.
Well, first of all, upset alert goes without saying, but A&M should be on high alert. That's fine. High alert. I already picked A&M to win the game. It should be on high
I'm
alert.
mad at you for that.
Ole Miss is a correct answer. I actually considered yours as well, Blutman. But my answer I'm looking you dead in the eyes, Liam Blutman.
Yeah,
I'm looking you dead in the eyes. I'm looking at that logo on your chest. I'm looking at make sure that is an Indiana shirt.
It is.
I'm looking at the Indiana logo. If you're not used to being here, if you're not used to being 8-0, if you haven't been there in a long what are you doing? Why are you taking it off? He's going to have another one.
Keep talking.
I've been here before. I speak.
Hashtag Windiana. 9 Windiana.
We're getting 9 this week.
Did you purposely do that today?
Of course he did. Anyway.
White boy Rick, same shirt.
If you haven't been, he went to Indiana.
Yeah, he's wearing the same shirt.
If you haven't been here before, you got to have your guard up at all times. Also, it's a Michigan State team who has been up and down all season. They've shown trash. They've shown promise. They just went to Michigan, their arch rival, and lost. It feel like this is a buy low spot on a Michigan State team coming back home against a ranked team. What better way for Jonathan Smith in his first year to say, this is on the right track. I just beat a top 10 team at my house. Upset alert, Indiana.
Yeah, fair. Just, again, be on alert. You've done this 5 weeks in a row.
I have not done this 5 weeks in a row. I've done this twice now. Twice.
This is not number 2. This is 3 or 4.
This is number 2.
This is not.
Tell me again when I did it.
Well, you did it last episode because Liam was not happy.
You did it against Washington. You did it against Northwestern. So this is
and
3.
Nebraska.
And Nebraska. So this is 4. Exactly. You keep going down this path, and you're not going to win. And I am afraid.
Why are you hollering?
I am afraid of this game. I've commented on that like 3-4 times that, hey, this is a tricky spot. It's a tough game. But you're going to be shooting
I'm going to win
12.3% from 3, and you're going to be like, hey, I did it. I called it. Don't like that. Bad move.
This is
calling you out for your antics.
This is what he did with TCU, Blutman.
You can't call me out for my antics. What does that say? Brandon Walker and Kayce Smith. You can't call me out for my antics.
He can. I'll call you out. This is what he did with TCU, too.
No, I
You
didn't.
got hypnotoed.
You did, too.
Why
You got
hollering?
hypnotoed. Now you're going to get 9 Windiana.
All right, what game is going under the radar this week? I'll start with Big F.
There's a few. I wrote down a few this week.
I have a cheater one.
What's your cheetah one?
It's not just a one game. It's every game in the Big 12. Every single game in the Big 12. There is not a massive game in the Big 12 this week. There's not like a ranked on ranked matchup, but the Big 12 is a hot mess. Like if you look at all of their records, like the worst, I mean, and listen, we've got 2, 3, and 5 teams in Arizona, UCF, but the whole Big 12 is going under the radar right now because Colorado isn't playing this weekend. BYU is not playing this weekend. Iowa State is playing Texas Tech, as we've mentioned. Everything feels under the radar in the Big 12, which means some crazy shit might happen. Like, if we're sitting here and, like, I know we already talked about it a little bit, Texas Tech beats Iowa State, and we're like, okay, what's going to happen? Kansas State playing Houston, they're 13.5-point favorites. The Big 12 is just kind of a mess. So I'm going the whole damn conference.
Big F?
I think it's Kentucky, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. I think there's a little bit of a sleepy spot for Tennessee.
Yeah.
Kentucky's they've been playing bad. They got blown out their last 2 games, Florida and Auburn. But their defense still, I don't think, is that bad.
There's ability in there. They beat Ole Miss.
Yeah, like I think this is a spot where they can go into Tennessee, muck it up, make it a little ugly in there. I think it's a lot of points. I think this ends up being a closer game than people anticipate. I think it's an under radar game. And I mean Tennessee still, they've shown ability to run the ball. We still haven't seen Nico take even that remote step forward, I feel like. And I don't know if we see it here.
Blutman, you're under the radar game.
Never a good spot when you're playing the 3:15 Central game. UMass, Mississippi State.
How's that under the radar? Do you know what under the radar?
So under the radar.
Oh, UMass is who they're playing.
Do you know what under the radar means? Under the radar means good game that nobody's talking about.
Yeah.
This obviously isn't a good game.
Could very well be a good game.
No.
You guys could win like 27.
Even if it's a close game, there's nothing going to be good about it.
Yeah, sure.
This is
What's the line?
The president's playing football.
18.
You're going against the topic. You're not.
No, the
you're just
president's playing football. People should tune in to watch the president against UMass.
He might be out.
That's okay.
What?
And even more so. Oof,
you're
UMass is live.
The old Barstool
UMass
thing. I'm just going to go with Brandon Walker. I'm just going to go with Brandon Walker.
You know what?
Game.
I cannot believe that an SEC team scheduled an East Coast cupcake team.
A Northeast one at that case.
I can't.
When you talk about the grind of the SEC, You talk about having to play at Texas, at Georgia, at Tennessee, at Ole Miss. Yeah, I'm okay with an SEC team taking a step back from that and giving their fans something to look at. I am okay with that.
Okay.
I don't mind if anybody goes out and schedules. You played 4 top 10 teams. Good Lord.
Georgia, Southern, South Alabama.
Shut up. Mine's Virginia Tech, Syracuse. Virginia Tech is kind of up a little bit, and I kind of am fascinated to watch Kyle McCord play football now.
Yeah.
Even more so than when he was playing well. I want to see if he can. A guy
You
throws
love
3 pick sixes.
misery.
If a guy throws 3 pick sixes in a first half, you've got my attention.
You love misery.
A little bit,
No,
but
it was really bad.
yeah, but Virginia, like Syracuse, still is probably ahead of schedule in the first year of Fran Brown, right? They're probably, and Virginia Tech has shown signs of getting off the mat. So I think Virginia Tech, Syracuse, you're not going to pay it. I don't think a lot of people are going to pay attention to this game, but I think you could see a terrific game if you were to watch it.
Can I throw out one more?
Yeah, please.
Just one. USC Washington, I still think is enticing to me.
Yeah.
I know they're both seasons are down the drain. They both have been underwhelming. I think it's a great game. I think it's, and also give me Washington home with the points.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'd rather get shot.
Just want to put that out there.
I'll just
I just
start.
want to just fade them.
I'll use that to introduce.
I've
the
been
next
fading
topic.
the shit out of USC. Been just winning.
I'm going to introduce the next topic with that. Which game has 2 overtime potential? I had USC Washington written down because 2 teams you're not going to pay that much attention to. It feels like their seasons are down the drain. But even if your season's down the drain, the USC's desperate. I mean,
Are you good?
yeah, what's the USC?
Lincoln Riley?
Lincoln Riley can't lose anymore this season. He needs
get
to
fired,
show
I
something. He needs to show something. Washington in Jed Fish's first year trying to turn that thing, or not even turn around, but trying to keep that thing going. They need to win. I can see these 2 teams fighting to like 27-27 at the end of regulation, just fighting. Feels like 2 desperate fighters who can't get knocked out. That's why I've got 2 overtime potential on USC Washington. Kayce Smith.
I already mentioned mine as well. 2 really gross teams in the Big 12, Arizona, UCF. They are both really, really fucking bad.
Big Ev. He's got it.
He's got it.
I know. If I know Big Ev, give it to us.
Brandon,
Yeah? He's about to say the thing.
I did it.
He did it.
I found it.
He fucking did it.
You know, I've been going money in the crumbs on this, but you know that's not the place to look. I went to the Big 12. A few games have been mentioned. A shootout, a classic late night. TCU Baylor.
Oh,
That's the
Butt
one.
game. Is that the butt game? No.
No.
That's Texas
It's-
Tech.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. I'm gonna call this like 62-61, a classic.
Love it. Blutman, which game has 2 overtime potential?
It's the no.
I didn't do it. I'm going to be honest. I didn't do it. None of us ever do it. This is the most impossible thing to ever get.
I did it once.
No games go to double overtime anymore. It just doesn't happen. Arizona, UCF, sure.
Why are you so negative?
I'm not. This ain't negativity. This is honesty. This is just straight up reality.
How can he say that when I just told everyone I did it?
He did it.
I just did it.
The man just did it.
I
I
found it.
didn't do it. There's 2 sides.
I
to
found it.
I hit one this year. Didn't I? I hit on
Yeah, you
week
did.
2.
I feel like that was when it was triple OT and you only got single or double.
I think he's right. By fact.
That's when I changed it to double OT.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. But
It's so impossible.
I hit double OT.
If we get this, we should be gifted a trophy or like $500 or something. It's
$500.
so hard.
Put an extra.
You gotta
zeros on
cheer
that.
up. That's what you got.
I'm very cheerful. Again, very ready for more college football. I'm very cheerful though.
All right.
Hold on. I would deal if Blutman, if me or you do it, Brandon has to give us $500. Deal?
Yeah, sure.
All right, deal.
What about
Sounds
me?
good.
Okay, you have to give him $500.
Oh, never
good,
mind.
Good.
No,
good.
never mind.
No,
We each have to give us so we get 1,000 total. You good with that, Blutman?
No,
Good
never
deal, good
mind.
deal.
Okay, you know what? Fine. Fuck it.
Lucas,
All
you
right,
too?
deal.
Oh, wait.
Wait.
If Big Ev does it, I give him $500. If Blutman does it, you give him $500.
Okay.
What about Lucas?
What does
He's
Luke
not
have
on
to
the
do with
show.
anything?
He's
What
just here
what
today.
happens if we
helping
get?
us.
I'll if I win, I'll tip Lucas out.
Same.
Tip him for. All right.
What? But wait, hold on. What,
I still owe Lucas like $280.
Wait, no. Hold on.
And a
Wait a minute.
hamburger.
No. If Blutman gets it, he had the same game as me. I'm not paying him for correcting or doing the correct.
All right, you got Big Ev, I got Blutman.
Okay, but then
I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Okay,
I don't know.
okay,
I don't know.
okay.
Shit.
we got him. We
See what I
got
just did
him.
there?
All right.
mom and dad crying over here.
Okay. Blutman, I know you'll have something for this.
Of course.
You can start. Who's the player to watch this weekend?
Thursday night, Darian Mensah, quarterback Tulane, 64.2% of his passes being completed, 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Just a joy to watch. Throws darts. Friday night, Boise State edge rusher Jaden Virgin Morgan, 6.5 sacks on a season, leading of just vicious Boise State pass rush. The Central Arkansas running backs I said earlier, and now we'll say their names, Shunderick Powell and Darius Hale. Powell's got 143 for 1,166 yards this season, 13 touchdowns. That's 8.2 YPC. Hale, 85 for 424, 5 YPC, 10 touchdowns. Both of them are great running backs. Smaller builds, but mighty. They're so fun to watch.
Okay, no, Big F. This is player to watch.
Yep. I'm gonna go Eli Holstein.
Oh,
I just think
thought about him too.
This is a big time spot for them. Obviously, two teams that are undefeated in conference, and I think really SMU has a real path. It's a big time SMU line. Like you see, they're 7.5 point favorites. You're like, whoa. But I mean, at the same time, Pitt has kind of had a lot of these lines, and they just keep winning. Eli Holstein's got a little magic in him, a little cardiac kid in this in this team. I'm very curious to see how he shows up in a first like real big time spot on the road, where they're not sneaking up on anybody anymore. This is a true like a big game where if they win this game, I think people will start to take them more seriously. I will admittedly start to take them more seriously if they win this game.
Agreed.
So I think this is and he's a young kid. He's played really well. Like I said, he's been clutch. So I also love Kevin Jennings on the other side. I think he's a great quarterback. I'm excited to watch this matchup, but especially Holstein against SMU's defense.
And you, player to watch.
So I know we don't know if Drew Aller is going to be playing or not, but Tyler Warren is going to be a very interesting storyline because Ohio State's defense is very good. We've seen Tyler Warren have incredible games, and it'll depend on who's playing quarterback, but like he's stringing together some crazy stats, and Ohio State's defense is definitely like the strength of that team. If he can carve it up a little bit, that's a little scary for those Buckeyes.
And my player to watch is, I don't see how you couldn't say Marcel Reed in a big spot on the road after one of the most electric stretches of football all season by anybody. He grabbed the Texas A&M job by the horns, and he beat LSU. Now he has to go as a starter on the road, and I'm just saying it, as a starter on the road. He has to go to South Carolina. If he plays poorly, they might lose. If he plays well, if he plays like he did against LSU, they win and are SEC championship contenders. So, for that reason, you got to watch Marcel Reed this weekend.
And for that reason, that's the game of the week for me to watch. I mean, that's
your most exciting. Well,
yeah, I mean,
I
obviously.
assume you're to the point where A&M's going to be your answer every year. Or every week, excuse me.
Yeah, well, no, not when they play like McNeese State or whoever they have to play.
I think it's New Mexico.
New Mexico State, yeah, New Mexico, whoever it is. But yes, but if I didn't choose A&M South Carolina because that's a little bit biased, even though it is the right answer.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's Ohio State, Penn State.
Big F. I mean, the answer is
it has to be for me. It has to be Ohio State, Penn State. I'm going to be locked the fuck in. My fuck you meter has just been raising as this episode's been going on.
I'm getting a little fuck you meter going too because
by the time we leave the studio, I might just drag my nuts across this table. That's how I'm feeling.
You know what it is?
But at the same time, this offensive line again is still scaring the daylights out of me. But it's obviously the game I'm most excited for. It's going to be such like a smash mouth football kind of game. I'm sure if Aller plays, he's going to want a little get back too on kind of the knock on him coming in this year. Been like, oh, like when you play Michigan's defense, Ohio State defense, you look awful. When you play everyone else, you look good. But I'm also excited to see like our defense kind of like rise to the occasion on the road. JT has had huge games in these spots. He basically like won us the game 2 years ago. Had a big sack last year in this game. So JT, I'm really excited. Them and really the defensive line, him, Jack Sawyer, Tyler Williams, they need to really get after it. It's the obvious game of the weekend.
Lutman, which game excites you the most?
Yeah, I don't really care about Halloween, and we have standalone football on Thursday. So Tulane, Charlotte, very excited to watch Darian Mensah and the wide receivers. Tulane has a really good football team, a lot better. They have 2 losses, and people kind of, because they lost 2 games to Oklahoma and Kayce, people are like, hey, they ain't a group of 5 contender. I mean, watch ball, buds. Tulane's a very good team, top 3 team in group of 5. Top 3? Yeah, top 3. Army could be 4. Tulane 2 or 3. Boise State.
Yeah, the parlay. Yeah. I have.
Can I add a player to watch that wasn't mentioned?
Hurry up.
I didn't want to be biased, but I'm.
Hurry the fuck up.
Le'Veon Moss is a player to watch. I guess that's how
it's good. It's really good.
He's really good. Be completely biased.
It is. Well, yeah. The answer is let's not be stupid here. It's Penn State, Ohio State. It's
Yes.
it's top 5 matchup.
Yes.
It's two coaches that desperately need it. It's two desperate fighters.
Could Ryan Day get fired if he loses this
no,
game?
he can't. He can't.
Not mid-season.
No,
But-
he's still on track to go 10-2 and still on track to make the playoff. There would be now. Would the message boards fire him? Yeah.
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 I'll be
With
fi-
the
Yeah.
conversation,
I will
really
be firing.
start-
He'll be fired on the show if he loses this
Yeah.
game.
Okay.
And there will
I
be
love whenever we
there will be
fire
meetings of high level folks and be like, all right, well, let's see where it goes the rest of the season. But if this ends in anything but a national title, we're going to move on.
There's some people that are going to be drawing up some paperwork.
Yeah,
If they
Mike Vrabel might get a phone call.
that's interesting.
A few other guys might get some phone calls.
Begging Urban Meyer to
Heartline,
come out
Heartline
and
might get pulled into a side room.
Yeah. Hey, listen,
Hey,
you're our guy.
Yeah.
No matter what happens over the next 3 weeks, you're our
Yeah,
guy.
like
Yeah.
just we like you. Just
Yeah.
stay here.
Maybe Kurt Signetti gets a call.
See, I would love to see that he got a call. I think I'd like him getting a call regardless of losing this game.
Now it's time to put together our Underdog Parlay of the Week presented by DraftKings. After we finish building the card, we're going to build the card right now, and then I want to tell you that this week DraftKings has a college football parlay profit boost. All you have to do is head to the app and opt in. So head to the app now to check out our bet. Claim this week's boost. Once again, the Unnecessary Roughness Parlay presented by DraftKings has hit 3 times this year. Kayce Smith, who is your underdog for this parlay?
Well, you already said you don't like it, so I'm going to apologize, but it's Vandy plus 6.5.
Vandy plus 6.5. I don't like it as the upset. I don't mind it as a bet.
Okay, fair
Okay.
enough.
Big F.
Name, you ready for this? The UCLA Bruins.
Bruins.
Ooh.
Catching 6.5, going to Nebraska.
Yeah.
Nebraska just played the game of their lives. They almost beat Ohio State. Now lowly old UCLA's coming to town, who's been playing much, much better football. UCLA plus 6.5. I love it. I love this pick.
Blutman.
Red Raiders plus 14.
And I will finish it off with the Florida Gators plus 16.5.
Woo!
Georgia had the one truly impressive performance against Texas. They had one truly impressive half against Clemson. They had one truly impressive half against Alabama. Outside of that, I have seen nothing to fear with Georgia. I think they're perfectly comfortable going to Jacksonville and winning this game 27-17, something like that. I think Florida, with a desperate coach, have enough to hang around in this game. Auburn hung with Georgia. Kentucky hung with Georgia. I think Mississippi State hung with Georgia. I think Florida can hang with Georgia.
And that game is one of those you kind of have to throw certain things out. I mean,
Yeah.
I know not completely when you're playing fucking Georgia the way that they have been playing, but that is still one of those rivalry games. You're like, crazy
Yeah.
things happen. And everyone gets shit-faced. Not the players.
They're moving it away from Jacksonville. Did you see
I
that?
saw that.
They're
To
moving it
Atlanta.
to Atlanta and then
I
Tampa.
don't think I like it.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
Too much change.
You said this was the year of change.
I know what I said, but there's just things
Why is he so?
because there's things that should not be changed. Some things are just sacred and good and keep them, and that's one of those things that you need to keep. There's a tradition of the sport and certain things that need to be kept and not changed and tinkered for dollar bills.
Well, this hasn't changed. We'll see you Saturday night for our wrap up.
Do you think that I'm going to be crying or am I going to be annoying?
I think
Either
it'll
way.
be annoying either way.
That's fair. Okay.
All right, that's unnecessary roughness.
I hope I'm not crying.
There's a chance I'm the only one happy.